An Unconventional Threesome is a comedy podcast hosted by three rude, crude, and tattooed dudes. We tell you this so you can shield your children's eyes and cover their ears. If you don't, we are not responsible for the fun and exciting new words that they start using. Enjoy!
Welcome to the show, yeah, it's a blast. Turn the volume up, we got to laugh. Every joke's a hit, you'll have a fit. Sit back, relax, let's start this bit. Tuned in live from the internet's heart, where every word is a work of art. Comedy gold, it never gets old. Jump aboard, let the fun unfold.
Welcome to An Unconventional Threesome, a podcast hosted by three dudes, usually, who have no business having a podcast. My name is John, and I am joined by my two co-hosts who are living proof that group chats should not become podcasts.
Hey, it's MK here, and I still haven't figured out my intro.
Well, we could call you the reliable one. Jay's here too.
I'm here for the reliability.
There it is.
The ringer. Call her the ringer. I don't know. I haven't gotten any feedback on this, but I've been really enjoying the warm-up trivia that we've been doing recently, and I had this great one planned, and then D had to call an audible last minute, so I had to quickly switch up my trivia questions. How have you guys liked the trivia?
It's gone great for me.
You might have some competition today, though.
Yeah, see, that's the issue.
I doubt it.
First question. What year did the Berlin Wall fall take place?
89.
Correct. That is one for Jay. What is the chemical symbol for gold?
AU.
AU.
One for MK. One's a bit of a stumper. For me, anyways, and I'm stupid, but which river is longest in the United States?
Colorado.
No.
Shit. Ohio.
No.
Missouri.
That is it.
Are we which state has the longest river?
Which river is the longest in the United States?
So we have something called the Ohio River?
Apparently, I don't know.
But we do have the Missouri River, which was the correct answer. It only took me 8 seconds.
Who directed the 1994 movie Pulp Fiction?
Quentin Tarantino.
Another one for Jay. That is 3-1 currently. How many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one more and Jay can clinch it unless I pull some bullshit at the end.
Oh, damn it.
Which band released the 1999 hit song All the Small Things?
Blink-182.
Fucking A, that's a tie. Literally, that is a tie.
I'm still surprised she beat me on gold, but I'll take it.
Well, I don't know why, but I've been talking about it, thinking about it recently, so...
Well, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Maybe you're just getting in gear.
What does that have to do with St. Patrick's Day?
Leprechauns and gold.
Leprechauns and gold.
Try to keep up, MK.
Also another tie between Jay and I, but I'm not playing. What planet is known as the red planet?
Mars.
Beat me to it.
That's a win, I guess. But fuck it, let's go do this last one. Which band released the album Nevermind in
Nirvana.
1991? Damn, he's good.
He's good.
I'm good at history because I'm so damn old.
I think we should start doing trivia nights and drag Jay along.
You think
I
so?
guarantee you I will be the Kevin Malone of the group. We will win one time and then we will lose a lot.
That's very possible. But there was that one time after my birthday that we accidentally wandered into a trivia night, and I still think we did fairly well considering we had no idea what we were getting in for.
We did really well considering we had zero preparation.
That was a good night. Well, that concludes the trivia portion of this episode.
Yay.
If you have questions that you want to hear, you can email them to us and I'll read them because no one else checks the fucking email except for me.
That could be a trivia question itself. Who runs all the administrative bullshit for an unconventional throughput?
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. So it's a pretty known fact at this point, considering our intro to the intro mentions them. But what are your guys' stance on tattoos regarding placements? Are there like areas where you feel should never be tattooed? And how many tattoos do you have?
Unless you have a cultural reason, keep them off of your fucking face, you weirdos. No job stoppers, please.
Well, and it's only a job stopper for certain industries.
I mean, yeah, you can cook meth with a face tattoo, but
You can be a tattoo artist with a face tattoo.
Auto mechanic, the blue collar jobs, I guess you're going to have a tough time getting an office job with a face tattoo. I would certainly agree with that. Will I say it's 100% of the time? No, but
it's more and more accepted. And that goes for like hands and everything else too lately, I've noticed.
Correct. And it's certainly something I'm, because I've been tattooed since I was legally able to be tattooed. And I tattooed myself at one point when I was in 8th grade, I think it was, with a Bic pen on my calf. And when I say I tattooed myself with a Bic pen, I mean I literally just carved it into my skin, and it stayed there for years. And to this day will go down as probably the dumbest tattoo I've ever had, because I put 2 + 2 = 5.
You can't see that today, can you?
No, it's since faded away, thank God.
And no
Okay.
side effects either, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's definitely no ink poisoning there, I'm sure. No, I'm certainly glad to see that they're becoming more accepted in the workplace, because for a very long time they were very well, meant for degenerates, which I'm a fucking degenerate. No one would argue that point. But I remember in college doing a fairly long, like 30-page paper on tattoos and the cultural significances and how they are becoming more and more accepted. And so it's something I'm definitely passionate about.
Yeah, so Jay, do you have one tattoo?
I have double that amount.
Really?
Indeed. And I'm perpetually thinking of getting another one, like all the time. It just hasn't come to fruition yet.
Yeah, I have 5, and I think, John, you have like
71.
25.
I have no idea. I lost count a long time ago.
Depends on what you count as a tattoo, because your arm sleeve could be counted as multiple or it could be counted as one.
Right. And then I have cover-ups.
Yeah, your first cover.
I think it's going to boil down to how many times have I been in the chair at this point.
That's how I would gauge it.
And I don't know the answer to that either. Probably at least 16 to 17 times is my best guess. And they hurt more as you get older, as I'm finding.
Yep.
Oh, it's funny. My brother texted me today. He wanted to know who my artist was because she does phenomenal work. And, how do I get in touch with her? Yada, yada, yada. And he's like, yeah, I want to start my sleeve and I would like to do, an 8-hour day. I'm like, you motherfucker. If you sit for an 8-hour day, I will gladly pay $250 towards your tattoo. That's usually, I think that's what our hourly rate is. Like, I'll pay for an hour of your fucking tattoo if you can sit for 8 hours, because motherfucker, 6 hours hits and I'm about to fly out of that chair. I'm just a pussy, maybe? I don't know.
No, like, if you make this bet with him, will he have the funds to basically, if he loses the bet, will he be able to cover that?
He will when he borrows it from you, MK.
Yeah.
Yeah, he already knows what he's getting into cost wise. Because I mean, she is expensive, but goddamn, is her work worth it? You get what you pay for 100% of the time in tattoos, it seems.
Yep.
I concur.
Because I've had plenty of cheap tattoos that are not aging well. What would you consider a reasonable hourly rate for a tattoo? A good tattoo.
Well, considering it's going to be a permanent fixture on your body, I would say the 250 you're getting charged is absolutely a bargain. You can either afford it or you can't. And if you can't, wait because you
Yeah,
want to pay for quality.
absolutely. You have any thoughts, MK?
I mean, I have such a hard time comparing things right now monetarily because I'm still stuck like 10 years ago on what
Yep.
prices were.
Well, and to put it that way, mine are 1999 and 2003, and I was paying 100 an hour, and I was fine
Right.
with it. So
Yeah, when I first started getting tattooed, it was, I think shop minimums were $40 and it was, yeah, right around $100. And I think 2007 was my first tattoo. And then I've been on a hearty diet of it, usually at least one a year since then.
I think that's a fair rate. I wouldn't say it's
Ideal.
it's not like a cheap rate, but it's also not like, I don't know, people pay lots of lots of money for lots of different things.
like, at what point is it insulting? Because you're looking at the artist and it is a craft. So I would think any kind of negotiating would be in very poor taste.
Absolutely. Negotiation is never an option, in my humble opinion, when it comes to that. But brings up another point, going back to, tipping culture.
Right.
At what hourly rate do you stop tipping? If there's a rate that you would stop tipping.
Like definitely $500 an hour.
I think for that kind of thing, the tip is going to be static for me. If I'm going to tip $25 on the hour-long tattoo, I don't care if the tattoo costs me 500 or 250. I'm going to add 25 to it.
Okay. Yeah, I've watched a fair amount of TikToks relating to this. And most of the time it's, just the tip is enough to be a decent human being, offer your artists, to buy them lunch or get them coffee on the way in or snacks along the way. And that's kind of the route I've been going recently. And she still schedules me, so I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
What was the most brutal reality check that you ever got?
Oof. So I'll say this. I'm not going first. I'm the type of person that if you ask me a question like that, usually I need like sleep or 24 hours to think on it before I'm ready to give you my answer.
Well, I can go first.
Yeah, go first, John. I'm going to need an example to try to make sure I'm in the right ballpark here.
So I worked in a convenience store for a number of years, hence one of my favorite movies is Clerks. I felt, I was a young kid, felt like I was invincible. We were short staffed, so I always had the attitude of fire me, you'll regret it. I've always been a hard worker, but I also had a pretty heinous gambling addiction. And one night I stole, it was over $400 in scratch tickets. And usually my go-to was whatever I would win. I would kind of keep tally of what I was taking, and winnings would go back into the cash register. Sometimes I would end up on the plus. Most of the time I broke even, but this night I just couldn't hit to save my life. Well, obviously my boss, the owners, who I'm still very good friends with, and they noticed $400 missing from the scratch tickets. Shocking, I know. So they pull up the security cameras. I had been doctoring and this might be a federal crime, I don't know, because it's I paid it back, so I'm okay.
In this dream world, you may have been doing this, but you weren't really awake. Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I was, we used to have basically a sheet that we would fill out showing how many were there when you started your shift and when you ended your shift. It was handwritten. I would doctor it, and then we would fill out the forms for the next day, and I would doctor those numbers. I was a piece of shit. I'll fully admit it. Well, so naturally, I was fired immediately, and I had just come into some money from a second job I was working, which all of that went right back to my boss, as it rightfully should have. But yeah, the first few days of unemployment as, 16, 17, 18-year-old, however old I was. Actually, I was over 18 because I could legally buy them. First few days was great. I'm like, cool, I get to play World of Warcraft for 12 hours a day, and I don't have to worry about anything. And then days 3, 4, 5 hit, and I realize, the amount of money in my bank account is very finite, and I can't afford to do anything, and I have no source of income right now. No constant stream of income, I should say. 2 weeks go by, and fortunately, my boss owned the house right next to the convenience store, and he was renovating it. So I went over and was talking to him and just catching up, and fortunately, I admitted my faults and got help, and he started out with me helping him renovate the house and do, grunt work and shit like that. And that slowly transitioned to me being able to go back and work at the convenience store. But yeah, the reality check in that is I'm not fucking invincible, and everyone is replaceable.
I was medical. I had a similar work story, not from a theft standpoint, from a me running my freaking mouth standpoint. And I determined the same thing, same lesson. Life is good. But no, mine was health related. So 2006 ish, I was working at my previous job, which was in trucking. And for whatever reason, I was just feeling really, really, really bloated. And I had to pee every 5 minutes. We all know what pee is supposed to look like. Rust is supposed to look different. So lots of discomfort. I wound up going to the emergency room in the hospital my mother was working at. And the doctor tried to convince my mother I was dying and that I had cancer or whatever. And that was a really interesting situation when he met my dad, because that didn't go so hot. But either way, it was some illness, some infection where it was attacking some organs. And I was like, all right, well, I got to go to work tomorrow. They're like, oh, buddy, you're not going to work for a while. And I wound up on a leave for a few months. And it was just very weird. I was like, what do you mean I'm not working? Like, we got bills to pay, whatever. I had savings and I was all right. But it was just realizing how fragile I was. Talking to the doctors after all the testing and stuff, they're like, yeah, you could have ruptured a couple of your organs and that would have been really, really bad. So it's good that you came in, because you were probably, 7 or 8 potholes from a ruptured spleen. Like, all right, cool. So yeah, that was a very interesting, maybe I should pay attention to health and nutrition situation.
Yeah, fuck it, roll the dice.
Well, I still haven't learned my medical lesson. This isn't going to be the thing that I'm going to use as my example, but I think I overworked myself when I was leaving one job of 9 years to go to a new job. And because it was a family-owned business, I felt, oh, get off the computer, cat. Felt obligated to help out by going into work in the morning. So this was when John was waking up very early to go to work in the morning. So I would wake up very early. I'd drive an hour to my old workplace, work an hour, drive an hour back home, shower, go to my new full-time job. So I'm a bit of a workaholic. And I just stressed out my system into like an acute digestive disorder that cleared up a year later, but yeah, not fun. As it turns out, I am working while we're podcasting, so I have not learned this lesson. But the example that I will use is when I was homeschooled, and I want to say I was just getting past like Algebra 1 in math, and some of the more challenging math lessons, I ended up because mom wasn't around 100% of the time, she was doing other chores and other things around the house, going into the like teacher's guide to get the answers on some of the questions that I wasn't I don't know, for whatever reason I wasn't getting them. And so, I was cheating, and she was like, "Where's your work?" And I was like, "Isn't this enough? I'm doing some of the work. Blah blah blah." And eventually they proved that I was cheating, and I forget, like something happened where it was like they withheld my Valentine's Day gifts. They gave them to my sister and not to me. And I was just, I don't know, I think that was a moment for me where I was like, well, they found out. Guess I can't do that anymore.
As someone who cheated his way through a good chunk of high school, meh. I got caught a number of times cheating in school. In fourth grade, they had these things called Mad Minute, where we were like learning our multiplication tables, and we checked our own work. So I figured out if I just fill in all of these little circles with a number, doesn't even have to be close to fucking right, I get, a gold star for the day or some shit. I don't even remember what the prize was, but I was so competitive. I'm like, I need to win. I need to win. So, yeah, it took a while, but they eventually figured out what I was doing and put the kibosh on it.
Think of how many ways children can cheat now. I mean, like, we didn't have phones when I was in school. We didn't have AI. We didn't have half of the stuff that's out now.
Oh, I used to cheat on vocabulary tests, and I would just have like a small piece of paper tucked between my legs, and I would just glance down at it and give my answer. And then after that didn't work one time, and a bunch of us got caught, we started divvying up the work. So one of us would, memorize 3 of them. Someone else would, memorize another 3 of them, and we would just mouth it to each other because the teacher would go just start doing work, grading tests, what the fuck ever she was doing. And every time her head was down, we'd mouth out the next answer for whoever had that word. But yeah, no, I agree. Now they got Chromebooks and phones and ChatGPT and everything else at this point.
Kids are terrible.
Cheating was an art. Let's see. Cheating is bad. I think it's time for a trip to the green room right quick.
Well, let's make it happen.
Funny stories late at night. Every episode is a treat. Get ready for something sweet.
Dubby. Go website. dubby.gg. Use code AUTPOD, AUTPOD at checkout. It's great. Wait, can I say that?
Gold Teapot.
I think that's Frosted Flakes. Oh, they're great. That's what Frosted Flakes is. So, W's be better, do better. I think it's be better. But not only can they satisfy your energy drink needs, they also have some cool swag as well as hydration drinks or powders, I should say, to be added to water to make it a drink. So if you are one of those people that is chronically dehydrated like me, or you work out and need the electrolytes and things of the like, go ahead and check it out for that too. The code should work on most of those hydration drinks as well, but as well as the energy drinks. Some exclusions apply.
For every purchase, we will insult D one time.
I think you'll do that for free
on the podcast.
Yeah,
Don't be telling people the currency exchange. I'm going to drum up some business here.
Well, we just got into a new flavor, the blue raz sweet and sour.
Is it wonderful?
It is. And it's not too sour. The sour is very light. It's not like you're eating a Sour Patch Kid that slowly turns from sour to sweet. But yeah, they do a good job of mixing the sweetness with a little bit of sour, and well done, Dubby.
Yeah, this week I wrapped up on the orange creamsicle one, and I finished Grandpa's denture water this morning. So that
Oh.
means I get to open another one tomorrow.
Which flavor are you opening?
Fuck if I know. Might try Tiger's Blood
Okay.
or whatever the hell it is. Because Dee's already given us the feedback on Japanese soda, and I can't remember the other one we have out there.
We have the sherbet one,
Yes. Ooh. I might open that one next.
and I know we have dub sauce, but I can't remember what else we have.
Me either. I'm too lazy to get up and look. So once again, www.bbby.gg. Use code OPPOD at checkout and score yourself at least 10% off. And as stated previously, some exclusions apply. Back to your regularly scheduled bullshit.
Funny stories late at night. Every episode is a treat. Get ready for something sweet.
What is the most disgusting thing that you have ever smelled?
Oh, I can't like pick a time that I smelled this, but like old rotting food, that's a bad smell.
Particularly meat, which is where my story begins.
I knew this one was coming up.
So, went to a fireworks festival with my family. My lovely wife decided to stay behind and do a barbecue with her family who were in the area. Actually, your dad and stepmom were staying with us.
Yeah.
So she had the barbecue. We ran out of propane in the middle of it, and everything ended up getting brought back inside. But she had cooked chicken. And for some unknown reason,
I was drunk.
I was going to leave it at unknown, but okay.
You can tell I was drunk.
She thought it was a good idea to bag up the cut pieces of chicken, like the tendons, the bones, things like that, put it into a bag and bring it into the basement. Fast forward like 2 weeks, there is a heinous smell coming from the basement. And I am down there. I am pulling stuff away from the wall. What the fuck died down here? I'm like, there is something. I can't figure it out. Is it coming through the concrete? No idea. So I'm down there after hours of searching. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to sweep the shit out of it and mop it and hope that it was like cat sick or something that I can't see. So I'm moving everything down there and just kind of working my way one end to the other. And I get to this tub of cat litter, and on top of it is a grocery bag. I pick up the grocery bag where I found all of these week-old raw chicken parts that have now become a nice foamy sludge, and I found the source of the smell. It was that. Now, my brilliant ass brought it outside and then decided to open it. To this day, I can't tell you why, but that smell still haunts me to this day. And the funniest part of it is that our dump closes at 4:30 on Saturdays. It was 4:35, and it's not open again until a few days later. I think we ended up dumping it in like a gas station trash can somewhere.
Yeah, probably. I think Monday is the next time it opens.
It was too far away. But my basement got clean, I guess.
Yep.
Mine was also a chicken experience.
Ooh.
So I won't name the grocery store I was working at, but I was working at a grocery store as a teenager in the meat department. And the manager of the department, for whatever reason, trying to make sure inventory is okay, was like, all right, we've got these, 700 packages of chicken. We're going to put them on special, provided they haven't turned yet. So we need you to figure out if they've turned. I said, how? Open it and smell it. Well, how will I know? You'll know. And I knew. And it was the worst game of Russian roulette in the history of the world. Because it was like every seventh or eighth one, and I'm about to throw up in the trash can. Even right now, I'm about to get sick thinking about it. Ugh.
Yeah, chicken, that one goes bad very poorly.
It does.
Probably at the same establishment that you were playing your terrible game of Russian roulette. I bought what my friends refer to as used meat, which translates to manager's special. And it was, marinated chicken. So I brought it home, and then the next day I threw it all in the crock pot, let it cook. And it didn't smell right, but I'm like, maybe it's just the marinade and it's not something I'm used to. Yeah, no, it had turned. I was the first day I was like, maybe I'm just, my stomach's just upset because it's upset. And then day two, like, no, I think it's the fucking chicken.
I can hear you though. Like I'm not throwing out $1.61 worth of chicken. I'd rather get sick for 3 fucking days.
Yeah. I gotta learn my lesson with manager specials, but I think last week when we went grocery shopping, probably at least half of our cart was manager special shit. I'm cheap. What can I say?
And I'm sorry I wasn't around.
MK, did you give an answer to that?
I said rotting food, but I don't know why I know that's the worst smell in the world.
Maybe because you left a bag of chicken in your basement for your husband to find.
But I didn't deal with that one.
You were
Okay.
definitely outside because I remember you asking me, why are you opening it? And I said, nothing, and just continued with what I was doing.
Dear Lord. So,
You had a movie on last night that was some kid was pulling something out of a food truck refrigerator. And this food truck had been still so long that it was literally dust was coming off of all parts when it was being pulled out. So, I don't know, years, definitely more than months. Like, imagine food being stuck somewhere contained for years. Ugh, that just seems like the worst. I'm assuming a decomposing body would smell better than food that had been tucked away for years.
They're not great. I'm very fortunate not to have run into that problem, but the descriptions I have received is that it would probably supersede our chicken issues.
But yeah, ugh. No thanks.
What utensil vibe do you give off?
slotted spoon.
Ooh,
Okay.
you let stuff slide through the cracks?
No, it's just the weirdest shit I could think of. Chopsticks. Ooh, wonton soup spoon.
Oh, there you go.
Because you're deep.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that.
My answer's butter knife. And the reason is most of the time I won't cut you, but if you try hard enough, I will. That's some deep thinking right there.
I like it.
I guess, I don't know. Isn't this a question that somebody else should be answering for me?
No, not in this case.
It's introspective.
I like spoon. I'll take spoon.
Why?
Now I have to substantiate my answer.
Yes, you do. We substantiated ours.
Can I say it was because it was the first thing I thought of?
You can, but then I need you to baffle me with bullshit as to why it would relate.
Because the best things that you eat are eaten with spoons, like ice cream and soup and cereal. And also because I like to hold things lovingly in a little spoon shape, I guess.
Oh, there's some bullshit.
That works.
Can you tell I'm tired?
You like holding our accidentally adopted kitten that probably should have gotten me thrown out on the streets?
Who is currently on the bureau in here trying to knock shit off.
Who can blame him? Funny story. MK and I went to a local SPCA event and pull in. I get out of the car. I look her dead in the eyes and say, we're here to interact with the animals and see the animals. And lovingly look at them, but we're not going to adopt anything. We walk in, there's 2 guinea pigs and 2 cats left. One of them is this adorable small black kitten. And I picked him up and held him, and he snuggled right into my arms, and then he climbed up on my shoulders, and it was all fucking over. And I probably could have picked MK's jaw up off the floor when they were pressuring us into adopting him. And finally, I fucking broke and said, yes, we'll take him. Whoops.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought we would at least give the extra half an hour a chance to see if anybody else would adopt him, but nope, we came home with a kitten.
How many critters in your zoo now?
We have a dog and 3 cats now, and more mice in the walls than I care to count.
I don't understand how you have 3 death machines and there's still mice kicking around.
Hey, there's Terry. So our viewers can't see it.
Terry Bradshaw? Terry Francona?
Cherry Jr., Kyle. Kyle is the middle name.
Yeah, I initially wanted to name him Kyle, and then MK said she liked the name Terry, and so to avoid me getting thrown out onto the streets, I allowed him to be named Terry.
Well, it's not that I like the name, it's that we have a naming convention going on, and so Ron and Samantha are named after characters, and Terry Jr. is their son, Ron's stepson. But I was like, we have to keep with the same naming convention. We've started it. We can't just, pull away from it now.
So who are these characters?
They're from one of our favorite podcasts, and shout out to these guys. They do a phenomenal job.
We're going to give them
Dungeon-
free marketing.
Yeah, fuck it. I've never once paid for their stuff, so they deserve it. Dungeons and Daddies. Yeah, so it's 4 people, 3 dudes, 1 female. It's like a Dungeons and Dragons based game or podcast, but the story, at least in that first season, is just chef's kiss phenomenal. It's a fucking riot. 10 out of 10. Recommend everyone at least give it a listen. Even if you don't like D&D, the storyline alone is well worth it. It's funny. It's honestly gut-wrenching at some points. They are so good at storytelling to the point where I may or may not have gotten foggy-eyed at certain points.
Yeah, and I had listened to season 1 again, and I was thinking, this is like parental therapy. If you're like a parent, you should be you should be listening to this podcast in whatever spare time he has. But yeah, just the types of situations that they go through, it's very relatable, even if you're not a parent, if you're a child and can remember being a child, it's a really good listen.
And the name is very, BDSM-y, and that was intentional, very much like ours was. It is not a BDSM podcast, and nor is ours. They are just very eye-catching names. And I've been trying to get the person that named our podcast onto the podcast, but she's fucking miserable and won't do it. But yeah, she was the one that suggested it because it was very eye-catching, and so that's how we got our name.
So that's how you got your name. You have somebody that you know who named the podcast, but she won't be on it.
We might convince her one of these days. One of these days, I'm just gonna fucking call her and just keep calling, make her think it's an emergency, and then put her on the podcast.
There you go.
I think that's enough for me. You guys ready to wrap it up?
Hell yeah. Short and sweet.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Special thank you to MK for coming in the umpteenth hour to rescue us, so it wasn't just Jay and I babbling at each other for 45 minutes. Email unconventional3some@gmail.com. Facebook, socials, TikTok. Send questions there if you want to hear a specific genre questions, because like I said, I kind of like doing the warm-up trivia stuff. Gives me a laugh. I don't fucking care if you find it funny or not. Makes me laugh. So, yeah, you can send any of that stuff there. Once again, sponsor Dubby. Use code OPPOD at checkout to score yourself 10% off at least. Some exclusions apply. A Craigslist catastrophe. Let's see. This one's good. Like I said, I found a treasure trove buried in my phone that I forgot about. This one is within 349 miles of Mount Pocono, titled Video Booth. Thinking of going to Frederick to adult store and visiting the booths. Are there any females that like to join? This is John.
This is MK.
And Jay.
See you all in 2 weeks. And the government. Oh, thanks, D. Bye.
Podcast party time, grab a seat. Every listen feels so sweet.